Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. Today I'm going to talk to you about my experience sewing the Style Arc Anderson knit dress. If that sounds interesting to you, then hang on. Okay, so if you've been following me or watched the last couple of videos, recent videos, I don't know, I mentioned that I was ice dyeing some fabric and trying to decide between two different sweatshirt dress patterns. I'm gonna make both of them eventually, but I wasn't sure which one to just start with. So I put a poll over on my community tab and you guys came to the rescue and voted for me. It wasn't a runaway vote, but it was a majority vote. You voted for the Style Arc Anderson knit dress over the Rebecca Page hoodie dress. I'm still going to make the Rebecca Page hoodie dress because that pattern looks cute to me as well. But you guys thought that the paneling for the Style Arc would give me a little bit of opportunity to do some pattern mixing or color blocking or whatever. And I will get to that momentarily. So let me give you a little bit of the background of the pattern. The description of this pattern is that it is a raglan sleeve, crew neck, slight high-low hem, slight balloon shape, knit dress. It's got side panels and inseam pockets. I think that covers, oh, and it's got shoulder darts, which is very interesting. I think that about covers all the details. The fabric suggestions for this are French terry, fleece, and rugby knit, which I don't know what rugby knit is. But I did just recently buy this book, Textilepedia, and I'm going to be reading this or referencing it. I guess I'm not going to read it, and it tells you about different fabrics, and so I really want to educate myself on fabrications. So I will learn what rugby knit is. All right, so those are the three fabric recommendations. I made mine with a fleece. I bought it from Nick of Time Textiles? Yeah. I bought it from Nick of Time Textiles. It was a solid white, 100% cotton fleece fabric because my intention was to ice dye it. So I needed a fleece that was at least 80% cotton. My goal was 100%, so I was happy to find the 100%. I'll get into my thoughts on the fabric in a minute. I also bought some rib knitting, which was also 100% cotton knit ribbing, and I bought that on Amazon. Okay, so fabric suggestions I already mentioned. Based on the size that you're making and the width of your fabric, you're gonna need anywhere from 2.2 to 3.2 yards of fabric. That's if you choose to use rib knit for the cuffs, the neckband, and the hemband. If there is the option to do everything all in the main fabric, or parts in the rib knit and parts in the main fabric, and I'll talk about that also in a minute. The pattern is available in both printed and PDF. The printed, I think, is a little bit tougher. I'm not, if you're based in the US, because this is an Australian brand, you'll probably have to find like a local shop for the printed version. Although you can get some of these patterns on Amazon. So if it's available on Amazon, I will link that in the description box. I buy the PDF patterns, and it is available in either the multi-size, where you get multiple sizes in one pack, and they do those in two ranges. I forget what the breaks are. They also have the single sizes, and for the single size, it's a little bit less expensive, and you get actually the two closest sizes on either side of the size that you buy. So for example, I made the size 24. Had I bought the single size pattern, it would have come with the 22, 24, and 26. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. It comes in total sizes 4 to 30. The bust sizes for that range are 30.3 inches for the smallest to 58 1/4 inches for the largest. The The waist sizes are 23.5 to 50.5 inches, and the hips are 32.6 to 61 inches. And there is quite a bit of ease in this as well. Modifications. So I made no modifications to this. I made the straight size 24. I didn't grade it at all. However, I should have shortened the sleeves. But that's okay. I mean, there's a rib, cuff. I pull mine up anyway. It's not a big deal. The next time I make it though, I will shorten the sleeves. What did I not like about this pattern? The only thing that I didn't care for was the pocket construction. And it wasn't terrible. It's an inseam pocket. So see if I can show you this. So here's the side panel here, and you can see it's a little bit of a different ice dye pattern than my main fabric. And where this side panel meets the front panel is where the pocket goes. And it's one of those pockets that's supposed to show, it's not just a complete inseam pocket, it's actually the front piece is indented a little bit, so it's supposed to show the inside of the pocket. And you can't see just because of the way that I've dyed the fabric, but a piece of the pocket shows, it kind of sticks out there a little bit. I think, and maybe it's because of the fabric and the fact that you can't see it, so it's not worth the effort to try and line, sorry. It's not worth it to me based on the fabric that I used to go to the effort of trying to line everything up so that that back piece shows, because it's a little awkward, I guess, to sew that together. I would have just as soon had a complete inseam pocket without that extra little piece. And so next time I will probably just make it a straight inseam pocket because that's a lot easier to sew. So that's really the only thing. I loved everything else about this. It's got shoulder darts, which I've never made anything with shoulder darts before, but honestly, it really, it really has an impact on the way this thing fits. So I was really pleasantly surprised with that. They're super easy. I mean, it's just a dart in the shoulder. So everything else about this was very easy to put together. I mean, it's basically a sweatshirt dress with raglan sleeves, which to me are very easy to put in. It has those side panels, which it just adds an extra seam. It's not any more complicated than just putting a front seam to the back seam. So overall construction was very easy. I did, so what I did differently from what I usually do with my ice dye is usually I take the whole yardage of fabric, whether it's 3 yards, 4 yards, 2 yards, whatever, and I dye it all at the same time. So I fold it up, I put it in the bin and I dye it all the same design. What I did differently this time, intentionally, because of the panels, I wanted to like highlight all the different panels, but I wanted it all coordinated. So I washed and dried the fabric in hot water to make sure I got all the shrinkage. And then I cut the pattern pieces out while the fabric was still white. And then I ice dyed it. And so I used the same colors for every piece. What I did differently was I used different folding techniques for each piece. So you can see my front was like, I folded it in half and then in half, I folded it in half one way and then in half the other way, and then just did pleats and then used the colors. On the back, I folded it in half and then I did an arch and fan folded it like in an arc, which creates that circle. If you don't fold it in half, it'll just create, like you could do that from the side and it would do like a fan fold just on the side. It would do like a half arc. And then the sleeves, I just folded them in half and just did pleats up the sleeve. So I did all of them a little bit different. And then I did I don't remember how I did the side panel, but I did that one different as well. It's not as obvious because the colors like really blend in with the front piece. And then the hemband, I did use the dyed fabric for the hemband. And I did a shibori fold for that, which also doesn't stand out as much as I hoped that it would. So, as I mentioned, I was going to talk about the ribbing and the options there. So you can choose to use your main fabric for the neckband, the sleeve band, and the hemband. What I chose to do was use the ribbing for the neckband and the sleeve bands, sleeve cuffs, and then I used the main fabric for the hemband. I really debated whether or not to even put the hemband on. If you watch Sarah from Naughty Gnome Crafts, she also recently made a sweatshirt dress and she left the hemband completely off and just left a raw edge. I seriously considered doing that because I also don't like bands on the bottom of my sweatshirts, but that's when they're around my midsection. So whether it's around my stomach or my hips, I don't like a band. And usually I will just do a straight hem on a shirt that ends right there. But the way that this was designed and the place that it hits, I felt like a band wouldn't restrict me. And also because I was doing it in the main fabric and not the rib knit, I felt like it wasn't gonna cinch in. So I'm happy with the fact that I used the hemband. And I would do that again if I made this again, which I'm fairly certain I'm gonna make this again. I would literally like to have 7 of these, one for every day of the week. It's just so, it's so cozy, it's so comfortable. I could live in this. Yeah, so I bought, like I said, I bought white ribbing, and I just decided, I waited until after I dyed all the fabric and washed and dried it to see what it looked like. And then I found, I knew I wanted to do the ribbing in a solid color rather than also doing it in the tie-dye, in the mix of colors like I did the rest of the fabric. So I decided to I was originally thinking of doing the green, but then I saw that the green was at the neckband and I didn't want that to blend in. So I was trying to decide between the purple and the blue, and I decided to go for that blue color. And so I dyed the ribbing in the blue, and it's pretty much solid. It's a little bit like mottled, which I'm okay with. It didn't come out like completely evenly solid, which I'm fine with that. I think it works well. Anyway, so that's my sweatshirt dress that I'm very happy with. I will show you a little video clip here of me modeling it with my super sparkly silver glitter Steve Madden slip-on sneakers that I love, and I've worn the heck out of them. I need another pair because my glitter is starting to wear off. I've had them for years, and actually last year during COVID, they were my most worn pair of shoes, which isn't saying a lot because I didn't wear shoes a lot because I walk around the house barefoot. But when I did wear shoes, it was those. You can also style this with leggings. In the winter, you could do leggings and like, I don't know, some wintry boots. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice, cozy winter, fall lounge dress. You could make this in something lighter weight and it would still be cozy. Like I can see me making this in something a lot lighter weight to wear around the house in the summer, and maybe making the sleeves shorter. Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing that. In fact, I don't have to wait till summer because where I live, I could get away with wearing that now and probably through the winter. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, so let's see, what else did I want to say about this? So pattern-wise, I love it. I'm not unhappy with any of it. Like I said, I will probably just do a straight inseam pocket the next time rather than doing that little bit where it shows like just a smidge of the inside of the pocket, because it's not worth it to me. Even if I did it in fabrics that would show, I don't think I care enough about that to deal with how awkward it is to sew that together. So the one negative about this dress has nothing to do with the pattern. It really has to do with the fabric. So I will say that the fabric took the dye very well. I'm very happy with how vibrant and bright the colors are. What I'm not happy with is the quality of the fabric is really just not great. The fabric is just a little bit, it's kind of askew, it's a little twisted. I can see that this is going to twist out of shape very easily. It was very difficult to get it straight for cutting purposes. It's just not the best quality, so I'm not even going to put a link in the description box because I would not recommend buying this fabric. I don't think it's gonna hold up. Hopefully it'll hold up long enough where I get like happy wear out of it, but yeah, it's just a little twisty. If you have a resource for 100% cotton fleece that's a nice quality, please let me know in the comments, because I would love, my sister already wants one, and it's so easy to put together, and you know I love the ice dyeing, so whether that's for me or somebody else, I'm happy to do it. I don't sew a lot for other people, but I know my sister will wear and appreciate a dress like this, so I'm gonna make her one. But I don't wanna make her one that's not gonna hold up. So if you have a resource for quality 100% cotton fleece, please let me know in the comments. What I would love to know from you, have I inspired you to make the Style Arc Anderson knit dress? It's November, so they have new freebies that, so if you're not familiar, if you shop on Style Arc's website, every month they have 2 freebies for you to choose from when you make a purchase. So I don't recall what they are right now, but I'll pop pictures of them up on the screen here. When you make a purchase, you also get to choose a freebie, and what's cool about it is they are freebies from their regular line. So this is a pattern that you would pay full price for in another month. This is a great pattern. It's really cozy. I love the way that it came out. The one thing I do wish that I had done differently with this is because the side panel kind of blends in with the front panel, it kind of loses the whole, I don't know, for me, the purpose of that side panel, well, I think from their perspective, the purpose of the side panel was to make that slight balloon shape, which is fine. For me, the purpose of it is to really kind of see the style details. I wish that I had dyed those side panels a solid color rather than doing one of the folds for the ice dye. So that's something I would do different in the future, is I would make that panel solid to blend in, like to pair up with the colors in whatever I ice dye, but I would make that a solid. Now the samples that you see on the Style Arc website, the whole thing is just a solid color. So they're not color blocking it or pattern mixing or anything either. But to me, that's a missed opportunity. So anyway, I would love to know, have I inspired you to make the Anderson knit dress? If so, let me know below. Have you already made it? And if so, and you have pictures, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to check it out. That's all I have for you today. So wherever you are, I hope the weather is amazing. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're able to get some sewing in. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.